All right. I think we're live. Yes, we are. We're live. Welcome, everyone. Episode 3 of the OB show. Real quick, I am wearing my hat today because I've realized in the last two episodes that my bald head that I shave all the time doesn't really look good in the light. It looks like I'm like that, the son from Teletubbies or something like that, mind you. But we got a special guest over here, has his own podcast in the Youngstown in the Valley, hometown hero podcast. Thomas Valent. Thomas, thank you for coming on, dude.
Thank you for having me. It's exciting to be here.
Dude, I'm glad, first of all, that you came on right there. I know we had this thing scheduled. It was supposed to be in person. Time constraints, the courts, work and everything. It kind of ruins that sometimes, but I am glad that you are definitely on. And I'm hoping that it at least records because I am recording this on my phone on StreamYard and everything. You can see by the watermark. I'm not paying to get it off. So maybe in the future. We're not doing that now. But Thomas, talk about real quick about yourself, because right now, you started your podcast back during the pandemic and COVID. Have you still been continuing it? Because I know you took a little break during the years, then you continued it a bit. Where are you right now with your podcast?
Yeah, so over the years, I started during around my freshman year, and I played in 2 state championships. So during around that time, I took some breaks to focus on those seasons, and during my first college season, I took a little bit of a break. Then I started it back up at the beginning of this year with we had Jim Tressel, Mr. Coates, who owns Coates Car Care. We've had a couple guests on, and I'm continuing to do that right now. So I've had some breaks over the year. I think consistency has been hard because I have such a busy schedule, and I'm involved in so many different things, but I've been trying to keep a consistent schedule so far. So
If we're talking about a busy schedule, let me just tell you right now, my schedule is I feel busy just because I work in the mornings. I mean, I got my formula literally laid down. I have stuff I'm trying to pass test wise and everything. So I could tell you about the busy schedule right now, and especially when you're trying to save up and buy something like this ring light over here. I could tell you right now the busy schedule is it's a pain. It is definitely without a doubt a pain right there, Tom. You said you had that podcast though with Jim Tressel, and that was one I really didn't watch. How were you able to get Jimmy T, the legend, the GOAT of Youngstown and Ohio State, on your podcast?
I think over the years in doing this and me building up some connections and networks, I've had, former NFL guys on my podcast, um, and just building that up and, doing the community service aspect, which is what I love. And that's really, podcasting. It's not my, I like doing it, but when I go and help people, that's my passion. And that's what the intention behind starting this was, because I couldn't physically go and do that. And so that's my passion. And doing this over time, you learn and you meet new people. And fortunate enough, I was able to get in contact with him, and he was able to come on, and he wants to come on again. So that's always a good sign. So
that means you were a great host right there, Tom. And I talked to Jim Tressel before. Actually, if you want to know a funny story, this is also embarrassing, but junior year, I told you I kicked for Ursula until about 2017. So this is going to my junior year. So, when you're not a visitor, you're not really supposed to wear your Letterman jacket onto the field. And, my dad, he knows people. So I go onto the field over here, and I've met Jim Tressel before. Of course, my dad taught at YSU. He knows Jim Tressel a bunch. We're on the field over here. The next thing you know, I get a call, and basically I have to go back to the stands because I'm wearing my Letterman jacket on the field without being an official visitor. And they told me apparently it was Jimmy T that kind of pulled the trigger on that and said, "Hey, you gotta get off my field over here."
wow, that's so you were wearing an opposing team's, or you were wearing an opposing Letterman's jacket, and you got yelled at.
No, no, it was my high school Letterman jacket, and I wasn't really yelled at. It was just, "Hey, you gotta get off the field" and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty much that. No, I was wearing my high school Letterman jacket. No, now if I was wearing a Mooney Letterman jacket, there probably would have been a little bit of conflict right there. I probably would have been out. Security would have escorted me out for sure, or something like that. I might have been jumped on the in the M70 parking lot at YSU, especially if any Ursuline people are there. But no, it was just something little like that. But it's a funny story that I had to talk about right there. And speaking of, I guess, stories, I guess your whole just starting up your podcast and everything was been definitely big. How many, like, How have you progressed, do you think, with your podcast over the years?
Yeah, I think that for me, it started during COVID, and it was just doctors and nurses and things like that. And over time, I've made it to anyone who I think has made a big impact in the community. And you know, it was people in the nursing home, doctors, law enforcement, things like that. And I was just wanting to show a sense of appreciation for them. And I think as time went on, you have to expand, you have to keep growing. And I did that. And I had, like I said, NFL players on, leaders in the community, um, anyone who I thought was making a difference in the area. And it's been good to have those people on because there's so many different stories, and you can still get that same sense of blessing from different people and these different perspectives that you might not see in the news. It might be filled with bad things and negative stories that get people to read, but I want people to see that there are good people in our community doing good things to make the valley a better place.
It's always good to make the Valley a better place. Now, how many NFL players have you actually been on the podcast? I saw you had Boom Heron. I don't think any of the newer generation people from YouTube, when I upload my shorts or anything, and they get views, most of them could be 18, 25, but I don't think even 18-year-olds really know who Boom Heron is. Who else have you had on besides that?
So Jaleel McLaughlin, we are
Okay.
pretty close, and he had a great rookie season from YSU. Jaleel, I had him on. I had Derek Tolles. He played a little bit in the NFL. Try to see who I'm missing. So three, I'd say three or four, maybe five. I can't think of all of them. It's been a long time, but yeah.
No, that's pretty sweet. And so you talk about Jaleel McLaughlin. I guess he is such a great guy, especially, he's just a good person when he like remembers your name. I was the film guy for YSU from 2020, 2021. Cool, a lot of cool players and stuff. A lot of them actually do know me, but when you get like an NFL player that knows who you are, that's you feel like you accomplished something. You feel like you won the World Series at that point. You
Yeah.
feel like you won the Super Bowl. And one day I was going to Chipotle. He's like, dude, what's up? I didn't even realize it was him until I saw him. I'm like, oh, Jaleel, what's going on? This was like last year, but you get just those connections, and then those just run for you during your whole rest of your career. And you get to know someone like that. And it's really just awesome when you know some of these people, especially what they grew up in and the strive, the hunger that they get, and everything like that. I mean, you've seen it too, I imagine, against opponents when you played high school football, or even some people that went to like your school and everything like that. JFK, you've probably seen just the hunger that they strive for. He's someone who I just respect for where he grew up in and everything that he was able to strive for.
Yeah, he's an all around solid person. Like he would be he would go at night or early mornings. He would run the stadiums. He would do all this stuff, the nitty gritty stuff that people don't see, and as a result, it's paying off right now for him. And all around his character, he's a good dude.
You just said nitty gritty right there. Of course, Youngstown is the grit city. What's your thoughts about grit?
Yeah, so it's funny. I for BW, they asked me to do, why I chose Baldwin Wallace and where I come from, and I talked about that. And it should be coming out here pretty soon. But I talked about that because it is grit. Youngstown is grit. There's just something about it that every day when you go to work or you do things, you got to pack your lunch, you got to put your hard hat on, and to me, I love that. I love that. I love that challenge, and I love that sense, the way that makes me feel. Um, and that's why Youngstown will always be my home. This area will be my home. Uh, and there's just something about it that I don't know anywhere else in the world can say. I that's just how I feel, and it's different. You got to be here and you got to experience it to understand it. So it's different.
It definitely is different, especially for all Youngstown's been really going through. And in ways, from what I've heard from a lot of people, actually, the city now is better in a way than it was years ago, especially during those hardships when the steel mills closed, and then you had all the gang wars going on and stuff like that too. That was a big part in the city. It seems like now it's kind of, I wouldn't say cooled down because you still have, of course, those bad sides of town, like the south side and everything. But it seems like the east side's cool down, north side's cool down, west side cool down as well. I think you got a call on your end as well over
I
there.
know.
So someone, I don't know who's no, I don't know who's trying to get into the podcast as well. We only have you as a guest. I mean, hey, I'm welcoming more guests, honestly. I mean, if there's just a random person, anonymous, one of those hacking guys, they want to come in. I mean, hey, as long as you're not hacking me and you just want to come in and talk, I'm all for it, honestly. But now going back to grit, actually, like, what's your thoughts about Barstool, because they made the grit thing? What's your thoughts about, I guess, Portnoy, Big Cat, and everyone at Barstool and how they represented grit?
Yeah, I'm not really too familiar with what they did. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I've lived here. I've lived in the Mahoning Valley my whole life, so I guess I really don't know any different. But there is just something about Youngstown that I don't know. I always say, I hear people say they want to move away from the area, and that kind of, a little bit breaks my heart. But my goal is to try to make this place a place that people want to stay and people want to continue to come back to. And I know that there are people who are working to ensure that. And that's what I want to do. That's what my message is that this area is doing good. We're getting better. The economic opportunity is coming, and we're getting there. I've spoke with Guy Coviello. I sat down with him. He runs the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber. I had him on earlier, I think in January, and the opportunities and things that they're doing with their partners and other people around the valley, it's great, because the things that they're doing we need, and over time, over these next couple of years, it's just going to keep getting better. And I'm excited to see the future of the Mahoning Valley. But to speak on Dave Portnoy and all that stuff, I'm not really too familiar. But I know my twin brother Patrick, who plays at Rice University, he watches. I think it's PFT or something like that. He
Yeah.
watches that.
PM, yeah, pardon my take, with PFT commenter and Big Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it's called. But your twin brother goes to Rice.
He does.
No shit. Wow. Excuse my French right there, but wow. I mean, now he's D1, because that's D1 college football right there. Is he like a walk on, or did they like offer him scholarship, or what?
Yeah, he's a scholarship player. I think he had about. We don't look alike. He's 6'4", 300 pounds, and I'm 5'11" on a good day, 185. So I didn't, for twins, that's not, I didn't get that height. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't recognize you being 185, to be honest. Like, I saw in your videos, I'm like, wow, I mean, like I lift weights, I'm built, but like, you could tell that when you're in college football, they feed you and stuff. They feed you and they make sure that you're built, basically, in a way.
yeah,
So I thought you were like at least like maybe, I don't know, 235 or something like that, but 185. I'm like, huh. I'm like, that's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, that's honestly crazy right there. But has your brother? So he's at Rice. Has he played against like some big like Power 5 schools then?
Yeah, so they played at Texas last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he said that environment was crazy.
Wow. No crap. That's wild. Especially, he's probably played against some other schools. I mean, who they got for the Power 5 this year? I mean, I gotta definitely check their schedule, but
Yeah, I think his schedule just came out. I'm trying to think. I mean, the American Conference in itself is still pretty good. So,
yeah. I mean, who do you have in there? Is that American Conference still? You have, let's see, who did they just add? I mean, I think it's Florida Atlantic's Conference USA. Is Marshall in the American, or is that Conference USA still as well?
I don't know if Marshall, they were in Conference USA. I knew there were some transfers. But you got like, what is it, Tulane,
Tulsa in there, right?
Yeah, you got was it South Florida?
Yeah, South Florida's one of them too.
Yeah, there's Tulsa, Tulane, I think.
Oh, UConn, right?
Yeah.
Are they? They're
SMU.
independent. They're independent, actually, I think.
They did play UConn last year, though.
Oh, they did. Okay.
They played SMU. SMU won the conference, I believe, against Tulane. So yeah, there's some good teams in there.
And I mean, you probably played against some good teams in D3, and was Baldwin Wallace. That's D3, right, or D2?
Yeah, D3.
D3. You played against some pretty good teams in D3. Did you guys play Mountain Union yet?
We did.
Are they really? Because I've honestly never went to a Mountain Union game. I'm gonna be real. Never in my life I went to one. Are they like I see them on TV? Are they really like that big and like I guess one of the best teams that they prove to be every year?
They I wouldn't say they're much bigger than, us or John Carroll at all. They do have, they've got guys, and every year they are one of the best teams, in Division 3. And they play for a championship almost every year. So yeah, but it's not like there's some, powerhouse that can't be stopped. It was pretty close at halftime, and then they pulled away pretty good, but they are really good. Don't get me wrong, but they're not unstoppable.
Yeah, I would imagine. I definitely do think. I mean, they did lose last year. I think it was what in the playoffs, right? They actually did get upset.
Yeah, pretty early.
Yeah, pretty early. So then that's really a rare case to see when you're talking about someone like Mountain Union,
Yes.
one of the talented D3 teams. I was at their stadium though, because Alliance plays there. When I was with YSN, I did a game Niles Alliance this past year
Hmm.
when we had a bye week at Cheney. So I did that. And I was in their press box. It's nice. It's really nice. Of course, small, but it's really nice. Like I was in my own room and everything. I and they had like a TV. They had like replays going on, like with the game and everything. And that was blessed. That was a blessing because I forgot my binoculars that night.
That's nice. Yeah, their field is nice.
Yeah, and I needed my binoculars for the field, or else I would have been like calling the wrong names and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't look. I have my vision, honestly, like up close, I'm pretty good. If you take me to like I don't know, far away distance, something like that, like I'm trying to look at this picture over here, I can't really even read what it is or see what it is. Maybe it's because the lights are dim over here. One light isn't working, but I just actually can't even like read anything that says. I don't even wear contacts
Mhm.
or like anything like that. And I don't know how I passed the eye test for renewing my license. I don't know how. It's a rare occurrence right there, Tom.
That's funny.
It's a very rare occurrence. But I want to go back honestly to high school football. You played at JFK. You won 2 state championships. What was your time like playing at like Warren JFK during those seasons?
Yeah, I actually lost 2 state championships, but
Or lost? My bad. Yeah,
yeah,
lost.
no,
You made it still though.
I did. And I'll tell you, I think I learned more in those losses than I would have a win in both of those games. And I learned from the first one. First one I played in was 2020. I just played special teams as a sophomore. Um, and after that loss, I was so hungry. I would work out 3 times a day. Jaleel would always tell me about his workouts and stuff, and that it is that work that nobody sees that'll get you to where you want to be. My freshman year, some of the coaches told me that I would never see the field, and I kind of started to believe them. So everything, my junior year I wasn't even all conference, and my senior year I was first team all state. So to me, I think that is my message in life: is that work will get you where you want to go, and work will win. Um, if you work hard, it'll all fall into place. So yeah, my senior year, I was first team all state. All, there was a thing that, I can't think of the news company did. It was a all state championship team. And I was up there, with like Lamar Sperling from Hoban, uh, the Armstrong twins from St. Anne.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. We had to make a quick pit stop right there and fix some technical issues on the pit stop. Oh, I guess since we're talking about pit stop, Tom, are you a NASCAR person or not?
Not really, but I will watch some Formula One stuff every once in a while.
Seems like everyone likes F1. I mean, I like pack racing and NASCAR. I don't mind F1. I like Lewis Hamilton. I mean, he's pretty good. I do like him, but that's like the only guy I really know. And every single time they just go out in front, it's like single file at the end. But I
Mhm.
guess to what we were talking about, hopefully the recording is good. I see it is recording. That's pretty good right there. We were talking about Warren JFK. We were talking about your high school days. What else do you have to reminisce about, like your high school days, about like never giving up? And you said you were All American right next to stars from Hoban, the twins from St. Edwards. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Just to see that. I mean, those awards, they're cool to see because of the progress that I've taken, but that's all they kind of mean to me. Because at the end of the day, it's a team game, and you know, I we couldn't get it done in the state championships, and that's really what matters. But for me, it's just like to see the benchmark of like, you were told you probably would never see the field, and you kind of believed it, and then this is what hard work can do in your life, and if you apply that to your life in every aspect, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing that if you don't set a goal to do that you can't achieve. um, and I think that's important for young athletes to know, and or young people, aspiring to be something or be someone. It doesn't have to be sports, because sports can be a replication of life and the lessons that you learn in sports. Um, and there are games here and there that I'll always remember, but it's those lessons that I'll carry forever, and they kind of help make me who I am as a person.
That's awesome to say right there because there's been a lot of people just when they get into sports, a lot of seniors don't even like start. I've known seniors that don't even start or they play special teams and stuff and they wanted to make it big and everything. But as you see, like the never giving up possibility and then like going to college and all that and living your dream playing football is a big one.
Yeah. And, my freshman year, I think everyone goes into college thinking, you don't get recruited to play special teams in college. And if like I said, that the mentality of working hard, it'll carry you a long way. I'm on a team with 150 guys. And so, how do you separate yourself? Well, it's hard work. And, I was fortunate to play 7 games on special teams as a freshman. We brought in probably 60 freshmen too. So only probably about 10 played and traveled. So, sometimes you have to do, like I said, that the nitty gritty stuff and special teams at the college level. It is, you have meetings, you have these in-depth plans for the week, again, scouting reports, and it is a lot of hard work, and you just got to be up to the challenge, and that grit from Youngstown, like we said, and packing your lunch and bringing your hard hat, because every day you got school, work, things like that, and so yeah.
I guess going back to like the Youngstown thing, this is kind of like a little bit of a joke one, but when they say, "Oh, I want to leave Youngstown," what's your thoughts of people that are like, "I'm gonna leave this town, Youngstown stinks," and then all of a sudden they just go to like across the street to Austin Town or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's I don't know. That's funny to me. But as long as they're in the area, to me, that's good. I think it's the people that say that, there could be better economic opportunities other in Youngstown. And, while I guess there might be some truth to that, there's the reality is that the time now to get jobs in the area and the opportunities that present itself here are great, and you just have to find them. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, especially with the jobs. I want to touch up, I guess, the job stuff because you bring it. There's a lot. You get places saying, we're hiring everyone and stuff like that. Do you bel I guess, and I don't like talking politically and stuff like that. I'm not a political guy per se, and I know everyone's gonna have an opinion, and I don't want to be triggering, really all my viewers out there, especially those who support either party. But when they say, everyone's hiring, then like you got people complaining about ODEI and all this, just both sides going bashing each other. How do you like? I guess how do you stop all that stuff from happening?
I don't really know. And I'm kind of with you. I don't get involved in politics on my podcast either. But yeah, I really don't know. I I'm not sure.
I mean, I just asked you that because you did have like again guys who are political really on your podcast, regional chambers. Of course, that goes into the business route. You had I mean, Jim Trussell was president of YSU and stuff like that. So obviously,
Mhm.
people wanted him to run for senate. I think it was at one point as well. And you've had who else have you? You had a few others who are like in the business route too. So I didn't know if you like knew a lot more like into the job and I guess business part of the whole political side with it or not.
Yeah, I get that there is that political side to it. I try to stay away from that, because that's like you said, that can be triggering for some people, and you know I talk about it sometimes is, the ability to, no matter what party, to talk about things and debate things and discuss things, because I think that's vital for society, is to be able to, one party and another party come together, and having a disagreement is okay. It's not, doesn't mean you don't like the person, doesn't mean you don't, you still should listen to what they say, because you can still learn something. That's what I believe.
I mean,
And
dude, that's really all I see right there nowadays. Anyways, I could go somewhere, and I'll basically see you got someone who, support. We'll just say supports this side of the party or our two presidents right now. Say you got people who are like Trump supporters and stuff like that. If you just say to someone, "Oh, I support, Donald Trump" or something like that, they're gonna say, "Oh, you're a racist, misogynist, no, 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 all that." Type of stuff. And then you got someone who'd say, well, I support this party, I support Joe Biden. And then all of a sudden you got the whole Trumpers over here. They're all going after saying, oh, so you're all for over here war. You're for people coming into our country illegally. You're all for that. And it's just at points, though, between each party, it's so much division. And it's stupid in a way. I think it's just all distraction. So like they could divide us and stuff like that, I think.
yeah, I feel that. Like I said, we just need to, no matter what party, that doesn't define who we are as humans, and that
Yeah,
doesn't define who we are as people.
yeah, exactly. Because I have friends who are right. I have people I know who are left and stuff like that, and the old school like party and the old right party. And at points, I have my own opinion about it. I'm more so, in my opinion, towards the middle of things. More that's where I mostly am, stuff like that. And basically, in a way, I don't like who's in office now, but it is what it is. And I would vote for maybe someone mostly in the middle and everything, or someone who's a business guy. Like if I know who the person is, like the councilman, for example, he was my former coach at Ursuline. I'm going to vote for him because I just knew who he is and he's a good person. Same with some bosses. I had like Senator Ruley when I worked at Ruley Brothers back during my early college years and everything. Like I'm obviously going to go vote for him. But it's just too much when people are always arguing back and forth because it leads to nothing but just you're miserable then afterwards.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, it's just you're so miserable. But I want to go back to the football route over here and the business route since we were talking about that. NCAA football is coming out with the new game, College Football 25. So many NIL deals going on. What's your thoughts about NIL?
Yeah, so my brother's actually in the game, so that's cool. But uh
Really?
yeah, and I had some cousins that were in the original the was the '06 or '07 game, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, where they play for?
Or was it '09? What do you remember what year it was?
I don't remember what your cousins were there. It was
No,
fun.
no, I mean it was, you remember when the game came out?
Like which one? Like NCAA 14?
Maybe it was 14.
That was the last one that came out. Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think it was 14 then.
11 years ago now.
Yeah,
Time
14.
flies, dude. Time flies. Wow.
Yeah, so uh I think it's good. I think there should be limitations to it. Um, people shouldn't be able to jump from the portal, just to, every year to get money, just to raise, increase it. I think it becomes um, harder on coaches. And then, being in the college football world, I hear both sides of things because, what's saying that the coach will be there in a year, so there's different variables that I think not a lot of people realize is like the turnaround of coaches is, the realistic ability that your coach that you start with as a freshman in college, that he's there when you graduate, is not high. It's not high. So, some kids are going in demanding, millions of dollars. As a coach, that would be hard for me. But at the end of the day, these universities and these TV deals are outrageous. So why shouldn't they be able to get money, And they work crazy, and college football is a job. So the time that they would be taking for football, they can't really have another job on top of it. So I believe players should be getting paid.
No, I believe that too, and I was all for it. It's up and down. I didn't think it would turn out like this. I thought, okay, you're going to be paid like a regular, job, maybe 20 an hour. But now you see CJ Stroud, for example, had what, like a Lamborghini or whatever it was,
Yeah.
like 200,000 dollars immediately going right to him. Imagine if you're just a normal college student and like you're trying to pay off your student debt, then also CJ Stroud's just coming. He probably has like, I don't know, a Gucci chain on or something like that. You just see him walking around on campus. He has the new I don't know, probably he has some Yeezys on him or something like that. Like he has 4 pairs of different Yeezys, 5 pairs of different Yeezys, and he has like this $100,000 suit. Like at some point, you'd be like, "Where's like I'm working a job over here at McDonald's, and these guys over here are just getting money because of a sponsorship deal."
Yeah, and that's the thing about Division 3 football is that like, I don't think there's anyone on the team that has an NIL deal, and we're paying for our college. We don't only get merit scholarships, and so it's really like you have to love the game. You have to love the game of football to play it, and so I think that's what kind of makes it unique. Um, so yeah, it is a little bit different from the other two divisions.
You guys don't get wait, so you guys don't really get NIL deals like in D3 as well, or can you?
We can, and I know there are some kids maybe not on our team that get it. Um, but even some of our gear, we have to get on our own. We have to pay for. So it just depends. There's like I said, it's kind of different. We're in a different world at my level. So, but I know there are kids in Division 3 world that have some NIL deals.
Oh, that's pretty big right there. And so that's really good, especially when you're D3. And especially where it's been at right now, because usually the lower divisions, no one really. I don't want to be mean saying no one pays attention to them because obviously people do pay attention to them, but like you never see them on television unless it's like the championship game. You're only seeing the FBS for the most part, sometimes the FCS, but they're not any of these like big time schools. Like you're not an Ohio State, you're not. Heck, if you're talking about FCS, you're not like a North Dakota State.
Right.
You're kind of like there in a way. So it's really good to see all these different schools getting all the recognition that they want and making a little bit of money on that because the biggest thing, in my opinion, Tom, it's those hometown sponsorships that play a big impact too.
Yeah, so I think too, what's good that they're doing now that is starting, I believe this upcoming season is we're having like a bowl series, and I believe it's the PAC conference out in PA with like Westminster, Grove City, and then there's two other conferences, um, including us, the OAC, and then they'll play two games, and it's the teams that don't make the playoffs. So if like Mount Union made the playoffs this year, John Carroll was the next best team in the OAC. So that they would go to this Open Door Bowl series. That's who's sponsoring it, and they're going to play a game at the Hall of Fame Stadium against like the PAC or these other two conferences. So it's going to be cool.
Oh, that's sweet. That's breaking news to me right there. That's really
Yeah.
good for schools right there too.
Yes.
I guess going now more so on a route since we're talking about it, fitness. I guess I was talking a little more how you were. I thought you were weighed like 235 or something like that. I guess the fitness route. What's it like being a day of collegiate athlete, especially weight training, going to the weight room and everything? What's that like?
Yeah. So a day in the life for me right now is pretty hectic. Um, during the season or during camp, it's 5 in the morning till 9 at night, and you're only on the field. You're not on the field a lot because you're not allowed to do doubles anymore. But it's all mental stuff in terms of it's all meetings and learning the playbooks, walkthroughs, all these things during camp. That it's so draining. It is so draining, and you have to be able to take an ice bath or do things with. In the D3, you don't have the greatest resources. We have one. We're blessed to have one like an ice tub, and then we have some on the field that we can utilize. But that recovery on your body is hard, and you're lifting a couple days a week, so that's hard. In season, it's more of a maintenance thing to maintain strength. And you lift probably 3-4 days a week. So now what my day looks like is we went 4 days a week. We had Wednesdays off. We had Monday, Tuesday, Thursday would be a running day, and Friday we would lift. And then I would come home and work. I'm doing like more nonprofit stuff for a company.
Okay.
I would drive home after my first class on Tuesday. So I would lift, get up at like 5:30, lift, go to class, drive home, work till like 7, Then I would eat, try to do some homework. Maybe I'd have a podcast, and then I'd drive back at 4 in the morning on Wednesday to go to school. We would, that would be my day off. So I overloaded my classes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'd take 4, and then now like we'd have meetings in between class. So after my third class, I'd have a football meeting. Then after my fourth class, I would have some sort of meeting, another meeting, study table. I'd maybe try to get another workout in. So it's been a lot, but I kind of like that because I don't know. I like that. It's that grit we talked about. Like I'm gonna have to bring my lunch every day and my hard hat and get after it, and I like that.
See, I never do 2 workouts a day unless it's like a little cardio or just walk around afterwards. Usually, if I'm getting my weights up, it's got to be in the morning before work for me all the time.
Yeah,
Like morning before, you can't do it and here's the reason why you can't do it in the afternoon. Some people do. I don't know how. You're exhausted after work, especially where I work at the time. I'm exhausted. My head could be hurting sometimes and stuff. I'm like, there ain't no way that I'm doing this after school. Especially, you see how packed all these gyms get too. Like,
oh, I
I,
know.
I'm not. That's why I don't go to the Boardman Y. I'll never go to the Boardman Y unless downtown is closed for a day. And if I go to Boardman, it's got to be immediately when they open. Because if I go any other time, I'm not gonna get anything done.
Yeah, I'll tell you one of the reasons, I think the way I am and the numbers that I put up in the gym is probably since my 8th grade year. My uncle was our strength coach. He played football and baseball at Walsh. I had him. He was one of my earliest guests on the podcast, and we would work out we would get there at 4:45 in the morning, and we would do this from probably I don't know. We would get in there as soon as we could after the season, and we would go until June. And that's, to me, it not only prepares you for the day physically, but mentally, you have your whole day ahead of you, and you just the way you feel after you lift is like, okay, I'm ready to attack the day now.
Yeah.
And not only that, football wise, that to me, doing that and the bonds that you make, we would have like a cookout after the end of the end of the school year, and the ability to do that every day. That's how you get to where you want to be in terms of championships. It's the off season is where you truly win and you truly find an identity. Is I believe that is the off season that gets you to where you want to go.
Yes, 100%. I definitely agree with that. Not 100%, 1,000%, because bonding is important, especially in my opinion. The lifting weights is important because mentally you're just a lot better when you go and lift and stuff like that because you're getting all that adrenaline out, all that dopamine, all that anger out right there.
Right.
You're building more dopamine inside you. You're just building a lot more muscle fibers inside you too. And in a way, as you talked about the grit, that's basically what it is. You go into the weight room, you put on your hard hat every single time you get in there, and you're
Yes.
not quitting until you're basically all sweaty and nearly passed out. Because if you don't pass out in the weight room, that just means right there you're not going hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked about the mental aspect of it in terms of like, well, I've got 2 tests tomorrow. I don't want to wake up at 4:30. No, that doesn't matter. I'm going to study. I'm going to get some sleep. Maybe it's not as much sleep as I want, but maybe when Wednesday come around, I get a little bit more of a sleep. But so yeah, so you sacrifice a little bit, and you're sacrificing with your team, and you're getting mentally stronger and physically stronger, so that when those tough times come in the game, okay, I've battled like this before. This is nothing.
100%. That battle, tell you what, you talk about sleep. That battle of sleep's the most important. That's the one I can't even really have right over here because it seems like, in a way, I don't know what it is with me and sleep, but like we're number one enemies and stuff. Because I have a chair there's a chair down here, so I'll be like watching NBA. I'll be watching LeBron maybe go dunk on someone and stuff like that, or the Cavs with that big one last night. And then when they came back to beat the Celtics, and all of a sudden I'll fall asleep on that chair. Next thing you know, I got school the next morning. Like this is what happened last night. I ordered a package from Amazon, my pre-workout, The Rock and his new pre-workout. I fall asleep on my chair. It's like 1:30. I'm like, well, I need to go to bed, but like I don't want someone random to be walking at 4 a.m. The next thing you know, they take my package. If anything, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna run outside real quick. So I put on pairs of just I'm all baggy, by the way. Basically, almost no clothes. I put just some random dirty stuff on. I immediately go outside, and I get I get the pre workout, and then I immediately go upstairs, and I just crash after that. And then I
Mhm.
wake up, and then I'm just exhausted afterwards. I'm like, I don't want to do anything today. But I
Yeah.
have, but yet you have to attack the day because you got work. I'm like, I know for a fact, I got podcasts later. I'm not gonna be able to go to do stuff I want to do, and I'll be having a headache. I know afterwards possibly. So I need to go get this workout in now.
Yeah, I feel that. Carpe diem, seize the day.
Seize the day indeed. I guess another thing. Do you think because they're trying to change the NFL kickoff rule again, and we've seen this, I guess, in all types of football. I guess because it seems like the players now are still somewhat. I guess they're good size, but like I feel like they're smaller than like when I went to when I was in high school. And like the athletes aren't like what they used to be. Like you had someone like Lynn Bowden, one of the greats over here in like the Youngstown area. Same with like a Keys Teague, John Simon, Billy Price. Those athletes. I know you just don't get that. I feel like anymore. But do you still think that we have like I want to say I don't want to call them bad because they're definitely not bad. They're really good. But like, do you still think that we have the same athletes and the same personalities than what we did like back in like the early 2010s and such?
I don't know too much about 2010s, but even just looking back at it, I know my brother graduated in 2018. He won a state championship for Kennedy here, and the athletes like around his time were Lynn Bowden as well, and there were athletes all around. And maybe it just felt that way because I wasn't in high school football yet. But I know, maybe there's a decline a little bit, but honestly, I don't really think so. I think there are people. I think that the same athletes that were here are still here. I don't know what it is, the reason that it doesn't feel that way, but I know at the schools we got there are some dudes. You look at Ursuline. I played with Devontae Taylor, and just to name one. I know when my class, we had Cam. I would go on visits with Cam Smith from Austintown Fitch. A bunch of kids from Ursuline. There's Colton Ross who I plays with me at BW. You had like Isaac Lucas. You had all these guys from Ursuline that are playing Division One. You had kids from Fitch, kids from Cheney. I mean, you had the two kids that play at Michigan from Cheney, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other
The
ones.
DJ, yeah.
I mean, there's so much talent in the area that is still here, and I don't know. I do feel that for some reason it does feel that we had more back then, but I really don't. I really don't think it is that way.
Yeah, no, we still definitely do have tons of talent. And you hit on right there the two Cheney players that are at Michigan now and that won a championship. And they actually do the business that I'm at now, working with Club 7. They have a little camp and they're going to be there helping out with all the kids that are going. So that's going to be exciting too. That's going to be somewhere, I think, during the next couple of months, actually. So that's really going to be good for kids to meet two us national champions right there.
Right.
And DJ Waller actually played a little bit for Michigan this year. Jason, I don't know if you saw the field. He probably will next year, but DJ got a decent amount of playing time, and from what I saw with Waller, he was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy for them, and their future is very bright. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Same here, and I can't wait. Hopefully I get them on the podcast and stuff like that sometime. I mean, they're usually in person. If I get them on the podcast, that's gonna be some good viewership right there. Especially this one's gonna be good viewership too. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to, short any high schools. You got, Boardman. You had, Cam Thompson. There's so many people in the area. Kids from Harding. Kids from schools all around. And I was only naming a few, but the talent in the area is still here, and all the Mahoning Valley, the schools that they're producing kids that are playing at the next level, or that could play at the next level.
100%. I guess I want before that, though, I guess the final topic and question I want to get shoot on over here is: do you think, in a way, though, like with football and everything, that especially with the rule changes and stuff, do you think it's better or do you think it's gone softer in a way?
Wow, I mean,
Like, if you have to look on it, because of course there's the issue with CTE and everything, but then people said, oh, you can't really hit the quarterback anymore, especially in the NFL, or you got all these targeting rules and you don't even know if it's like accurate sometimes.
Yeah, I think they're doing it out of that safety, and I'm no expert. I'm just a player, so I can't statistically say anything like that. But I think the efforts that they're trying to make, it may feel soft and it may feel different because from people that have played football. But when you look at it from a scientific perspective and a healthy, a safe perspective, I think what they're doing is trying to make it safer, whether it may seem softer. So I think that's the ultimate priority.
Oh no, I definitely do respect that right there, Tom. And I respect you because you work hard on your podcast and especially with your grind as a football player still. Before you leave, I guess I want to say, where can people find you at? And I guess on the football field as well. Give us like as a little preview of football and Wallace football coming up.
Yeah, so you can find my podcast on YouTube. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook too, more of that community service aspect that you can see there, and some other things I do for the work I'm doing in the nonprofit side of things. Um, and field, I play outside linebacker. My number was 20 last year, and I'm hoping to get back to the 44 here. I don't know if you can see it. Hoping to
I see there.
get back to the 44. So that'll probably be my number next year. And you can expect we went 6-4 last year, and we return a lot of players. And the guy in my position who was hurt last year, he's our all around best defender. He'll be back, and so I'm really excited for this year. And if we keep working and keep growing as a team, uh, I know we can do big things, and I think we will. So I'm excited.
Oh, I'm definitely excited too. I'll have to definitely keep track of it too. I know some games can be streamed on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. You know, that's usually where they'll have them right there. But Tom, thank you for coming on. Now, if that 44 gets taken and 20 gets taken, what's your next number going to be?
So I have 20 already. That'll be good.
Okay.
But our number 44 graduated, and he talked to me like I asked him, and he was telling me like, I want you to take it. I'm like, no, that's yours. And he goes, no, you deserve it. And so I think I'm going to switch that because that's my number. But I like 4 too. My brother wore 4, but playing outside linebacker, I think 44 is what I
It's the
want
right
to
number.
be. Yes.
Right number. It's the fearful tactic. Be scared of 44.
Yes. It's had a long lineage of great players in college and in the NFL. So it'd be an honor to wear that.
Wasn't Dallas Clark? Wasn't he 44 or something like that?
I believe so.
So you basically, yeah, you represent a legend like Dallas Clark.
Yeah.
All right. And I guess one of my good friends, Spencer Warren, I think he wore 44 as well. So, I mean, representing him in a way, I guess. But, Tom, once again, I want to thank you for coming on. And everyone who's listening to this over here, especially when the YouTube shorts come out and the full episode, make sure you check out his podcast. You'll be uploading soon, I'm guessing, right?
I will be.
Oh, I can't wait. So he's gonna have some big guests I know coming on. I can't tell you which ones they are because he can't even tell me. It's top secret, mind you. It's very top secret. He can't even tell me that because it'll spoil it. And who knows? He might send some of the JFK boys and the Baldwin Wallace boys over here to possibly jump me if I do spoil.
No, no.
I'm playing right there. But thank you so much, Tom, once again for coming on, and I appreciate it. Once again, go to the Hometown Hero podcast on YouTube to find out all of his stuff and his Facebook, Hometown Heroes as well. And once again, YouTube Shorts will be uploaded over here. Probably, I'll get it as soon as possible. Basically, we're all busy as it is. And this will be hopefully I get it uploaded. I'm not trying to get it uploaded honestly by like a Friday special. By like if I get uploaded by Friday or Saturday, that would be pretty good. But Tom, once again, man, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Good luck with everything in the podcast and everything you got going on. I hope everything goes well.
Hey, you as well. And I'm glad that we were able to get that little technical difficulty figured
Yeah.
out and such. It wasn't that hard, but I appreciate you once again for coming on. Once again, thank you all so much for tuning into the Obi Show, episode number 3, episode number 4. We'll see who we have to get on it. It's going to be top secret again. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time.